All right, very good evening to one and all, and welcome to a new series that Edyst is doing. This series is based on Python. So before I start, I just want to check with my team if they can hear me, if everything's all right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just check if everything's all right, if everything's okay, and then we'll start. We'll wait till some of you join us. So please make sure you just say hi on the right hand side. There's a chat on the right which says hi, which you can say hi, and I'll know that you're attending. So do just make sure that you type something on the right side so that we know you're here, and we'll just start right away. So just say hi or hello on the right side, and we can start. This series that we are talking about very specifically is about Python. So any of you who ever thought of starting a career in Python, about getting started, how do you start software programming and using Python to get a career in software, this is a good platform for you. Not only in this series am I going to cover what are the careers that you can get in Python, but we are also going to cover how you can actually go for those careers, what are some of the things you require, what are things you don't require, and so on and so forth, right? So that's what we're going to cover. Just before I start again, make sure that you subscribe to this channel because we are going to do many such series coming forward. Please make sure you share this video also, so that any of your friends who are looking to start their career in software, particularly in Python, can use this to get started. Okay, so thanks everybody who's online right now, and we'll keep recapping for those of you who are joining newly. So we'll keep recapping as we go along the way. The agenda for today basically is that we want to see how we can start a career in software by using Python, and using specifically how we can learn the intro and the advanced structures of Python. All right, so that's what we're going to do right now, and that's what I'll start with. That how do you begin with learning Python and the advanced? But even before that, why should you even start learning about Python? What are the kind of careers that you can get in Python? Well, the good news is that Python, it has a lot of applications. In fact, it has so many applications that it has become the number one most popular programming language in the world, at least the fastest growing language as well. So there are a lot of things you can do in Python. You can actually start doing web development. That is, you can do backend web development using concepts like Flask, Django. Again, if you don't know what these are, don't worry, we will explain everything. But what I want you all to understand is there's so many applications you can do. In fact, I'll give you a fun fact. The web development, that is Edyst's own website, is written in Python in the backend. Then many of you might already know there are concepts. There is a new concept and career called machine learning. The base of it, that is the base of it, is in Python. If your raw Python concepts are not clear, then your machine learning career becomes that much more difficult. If you have very strong fundamentals in your Python concepts, you have a good chance of getting a career in machine learning. And let's say you're not that much interested in AI, machine learning and all, then you can also go for careers that go for data analysis. So data analysis, scripting, these are the day-to-day works of many employees all around the world in many different organizations. And what you have is the base of this is all Python. So as you can see, if just by learning one Python language, you're already getting up to about 4 to 6 career opportunities just like that, right? That's why Python is such a preferred option for most freshers. In fact, not only will you get hiring opportunities in these different domains, the number of companies you can get hired for is also great. So, and we'll show you what are some of the companies you can get hired for. But there are companies that are specifically launching programs just to hire Python programmers. So we'll tell you more about that as well. Finally, there are these things of game development and embedded applications. These also use Python, but your bulk of the career opportunities are going to be in and around web development, machine learning, data analysis, and scripting. These are the bulk of your applications that, or rather the careers that you're going to get. So make sure that you know what you're getting into. A lot of students say, I'll go to Python because all of my friends are learning Python. Don't go for Python just because your friends are learning. Go with an aim in mind. Each one of these, web development, machine learning, data analysis, each one of them have a separate different sort of mindset that you need, and we'll cover each of these careers also soon. But the base of all of these careers is Python, and you cannot make a better choice right now than Python. Just to show you the popularity of Python, this is a very recent chart about which is the most popular programming language, and as you can see, Python is the number one, which about 30% market share is gone to Python. Java is also great, and we have a course on Java too. So Java is good if you wanted to get to careers like web development, but also Android. So Android is completely based on Java. If you're interested in Android, I'd suggest that you go and check out Java. For all other things, especially if you are a first-time programmer, Python is a great language to actually get your career started, because, and I'll show you, it's really easy to write in Python. So I'll give you a simple example why so many beginners actually are loving Python. Let me give you a very small example and show you this. Okay, so for example, let's say if you had to print hello world. Now what do I mean by hello world? Where you have the simple program, that is, any programmer, the first thing that they learn is a simple program on how to get the computer to write the words hello world. All right, so let me just tell you what those words are. Hello world. Now those of you who are engineering students, you have probably done this in your first year lab and you don't know how it actually worked. Like, it just worked. You might have done it in your C or C++ or whichever language you are doing. Now, those of you who are not engineers, do not worry. You can also learn Python pretty easily. I know of, especially non-CS engineers, I know of mechanical engineers, I know of civil engineers who picked up Python really easily, because it's like writing in English. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you an example. So if you had to write how to print hello world in Java, this is what you had to end up writing. Okay, so this is like about 4 or 5 lines with a lot of brackets, and this is what you have to write and writing. Not that it's bad. If you understand Java, it's good. If you are a computer science engineer, you probably know what all of these words mean. There's something called public, there's something called class, all of this. Now, for all of you non-programmers out there thinking, oh my God, I have never done programming before and this looks so complicated. Well, let me show you how the same thing, that is the same output. Here the output is hello world. The same output, how it comes in Python. And the way this output comes in Python is this. That's it. Just one word. One sentence, and that is equivalent to about 10 sentences or 5 sentences in Java. Just this one sentence here is equivalent to the same in Java over here. So as you can see, what we have here is just I wanted to highlight how easy it is to write in Python. That is, it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy to just pick up anything in Python without having to think too much about, what will happen if for example, here if you misspelled system in the first Java thing, you will have a problem. Here you just have to write print hello world. That's all you have to write. So anything and mostly everything in Python is very readable. It is very human friendly. You can just start typing something and it resembles English a lot. So that's why so many beginners prefer to use Python. And that's why we have launched a course on Python very recently. And let me just show you that, and let me show you what are some of the contents that we are covering in that course for you to get a better understanding of what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'll open up the link that's mentioned. Those of you who are interested in knowing more about how you can learn Python easily, just go to the link mentioned below. The link mentioned below is bit.ly/edyst_python. So that's what I'll do. I'll just go to that link. Give me a minute. Yes. Okay. So I'm just opening up that link which says bit.ly. Let me type it here. bit.ly/edyst_python. Okay. And let me just go to that link. So there is this course over here which talks a lot about, this is a page. There's a video. I urge all of you to watch that video. But basically speaking, what this course is about is this course will help you get hired by any of these companies. When I say any of these companies, if you're an engineering student who is just coming to your 4th year and you want to learn a programming language, you could be of any branch, not a problem. Or you could be a 3rd year student or a 2nd year student looking to learn a programming language. All of these and more can hire you, because in their campus rounds they all ask these questions. So they ask questions regarding programming, which we are going to cover in this Python course. And what's even more interesting is this Infosys, as you can see over here. So we have this company Infosys, which is doing something called InfyTQ. So that is over here, that is Infosys InfyTQ. That is only in Python. So what you have over here is Infosys has launched a track, a completely new track where they test only on Python. They just want Python programmers. They ask you to come to their platform, program in Python, and if you can clear that Python programming test, you will get a direct offer from Infosys as part of their InfyTQ program. So learning Python is a great opportunity to get there as well, and in all of these other companies too, because many of the companies are doing work in these areas I mentioned below. The areas I mentioned were machine learning, data analysis, web development. All of these companies are working in those domains, and they want people who know how to do things in Python. So the course that we have created over here, we've divided it into an introductory part and an advanced part. The one thing that I want to mention is we have approached this course as if you have zero programming knowledge. That is, you may not know even the ABC of programming. And if that's the case, then learning Python from the start will be really helpful to you. For example, we'll start with the real basics, that is just printing numbers, words, etc., values, data types, and so on. But when we get to things like conditionals, when you come to conditionals, a lot of the things here are very logical based. So you have to have a good understanding of logic before you actually go and attempt conditionals. In most courses, nobody teaches you logic. They assume you already knew the logic. But in our course, we first teach you the logic and then teach you to go and code. And I'll show you some of those examples in tomorrow's webinar where we can cover conditionals. We stop at a very fun project. That is, there will be a very fun project at the end of it. And the project will be something like, if you have some files of yours. So let's say you have some song files or movie files. How do you organize all of them using Python? And it will be a little bit like magic. You can show it off to your friends that, hey, I'll just write this script and all of my 100 files get automatically sorted into different folders. So stay tuned for that project, which is included in this course. Then once you've done this, we go into more advanced topics, and with advanced topics, these are topics of OOP, data structures. Again, those of you who are CS students would have probably heard this. Those of you who are not CS students, you may not have heard this, which is completely fine. By the time you reach here, you'll understand what this means. Basically speaking, the good part, or you will be so capable at the end of this part of the course that you will be able to hit internet APIs. What do I mean by this? All of you might have heard of this service called Spotify, or you might have heard of Zomato, that food ordering app. Well, we will directly hit these companies, we will get some data from them, and we will manipulate that data ourselves. For example, we will actually hit the Zomato API, we will get the list of restaurants all around us, we will sort it by who serves the best biryani. So, and then we can go and eat some biryani also. So that all you can do in Python very easily. It's very easy to understand. You can do that in other languages, but picking it up in Python is very easy to do. Similarly with Spotify, we'll hit the Spotify API, that is, we'll query Spotify, we'll get all of the data from Spotify about which are the most hip and happening artists around, who are the most upcoming artists, and we'll try to listen to some of their songs. So again, it's really fun to do, a lot of fun projects, and all of this is possible through Python. So we're going to explore all of that. But today, specifically for today's session, I want to address all of those who've never done programming before, or you've done a little bit of programming, but you've never been sure about programming. So what I'll do is I'll actually open up the Python course in front of you, that is on the edyst.com. I'll open that course in front of you, and I'll do a couple of small exercises that are freely available for you to do also. I'll do some of those exercises. I'll show you how easy it is to code in Python, and also how easy it is to code on the Edyst platform, and how you can ask for help and everything. So just give me a minute and I'll get that up. Meanwhile, I'll just encourage all of you that please ask any questions that you have on the chat on the right hand side, or at least say hi on the chat. That way we know that you're there, that we know that you're actually watching. So do say hi on the chat. We know that you're watching this, and if you have any doubts, any question, you feel free to reach out to us on the chat. My team is online, they'll respond to you right away, and if you have any further doubts, I'll take them at the end of the session also. All right, so let me just bring up the Python course for you. So when you go to the Edyst platform, you are going to see a bunch of courses. So let me just get that to you. 1 second. Right. So the moment you go to the Edyst platform, you will see a bunch of courses. And as I said, if you go to bit.ly/Edyst_Python, you will land up on this particular page, which we were on just before. So just getting that up. Okay. So this is the page that you would be on. All right. And once you click apply now over here, when you click apply now, you will be asked to log in and register. So you'll be asked to log in via Google or via Facebook, log in with either one, fill your details. I have already registered, so I'm kind of going to skip this step, but please log in with all of your details. Okay. And once you've done that, then we will move forward. So once you logged in with your details, you will automatically come in over here. Now for me, I have already purchased this course, so this entire course is completely open for me. But when it comes to you, you're going to get this one playground, and we call this playground because it's really fun to do and it's just for you to do. So you can be online on this playground. You can just go and check all of the free modules that we have for you. So this one box will be completely free to you, and let's open and see some of the topics that we're going to do. All right. So what you have over here is some printing stuff. So as I was saying, you have that printing hello world in Python, just as I showed in earlier in the webinar about how you can print hello world. So let me again show you that printing in Python is very, very simple, and you just need to use the print word and you can just start coding. So for example, here what we're supposed to do is the output is something called hello world. So I'm going to do that over here. This is generally the first step for all programmers. All programmers start by doing hello world over here. So what does hello world do? It will just make my program print the words hello world. You might be thinking, what's the use of this? Don't worry, printing has many uses. It's just that as a beginner programmer, this is the first step we take. It's like the first baby steps that you take. Now, the important thing to note here is once you've written hello world, what you want to do is you want to click a run, which will just test if your code is running or not. It's not going to actually complete your code or anything. It just checks, yes, the test cases have passed, you actually work, the run actually works, the program works. Then we will submit it for correction. When we submit it, it will check again the backend and it will see whether it's working or not. Yay, hooray, it's working. And we have some celebration also. Great. We wrote our first program in Python. This is freely available for anybody to do. If you've never coded or if you've always been shy of coding, I strongly encourage everybody to at least do this. It's the simplest code you can write ever. Okay, so we'll move on to some other concepts of printing, and let me show you some of the other advantages that you have in Python by introducing a small concept of something called format method. All right, so let me introduce that concept to you. So what we're going to do is so far we saw some Python code which was just about printing. So now what we're going to do is we'll look at some more ways of printing. First things first, this is the code. Do not get freaked out. Don't get anxious. Do not worry at all. I'll show you how it is to be done. In the platform, there are many tutorials on how you can use this method. So don't worry about if it's looking too complicated. Simply, what we want to do is we want to achieve an output. Okay, so we want to achieve an output that's something like this. That is, Sachin is a good player. Right, we want to achieve this output, but the problem is sometimes you want to say, well, Virat is a good player, right? And another time we'll want to say Rahul is a good player, right? Or Mithali is a good player, right? Now every time we do this, we have to constantly change our values. For example, we'll do print Sachin is and blah blah blah. We'll keep doing that. Similarly over here, when we are printing, we'll do print Virat is, and we'll keep printing over there, right? So instead of doing it like that, what Python does is it allows us a very cool way of substituting values. So that's what a format method is for. It allows you to substitute the values from one variable to another, or these values like Rahul, Sachin, it allows you to substitute. What do I mean? Let's look at this format. It's like a simple mathematical formula. What it's saying is you should print this word, that is print this string. That is, print anything inside the single quotes, that is over here. Print anything inside the single quotes, but you should format it in such a way that there is some 0 over here, there is some 1 over here. What does this mean? The 0 will be replaced by the first value that is mentioned in the brackets over here, and 1 will be replaced by the first value that is mentioned over here, the second value that is mentioned over here. So this would be 0, this would be 1. If we had more values, it would be more over there. So as we saw over there, we had 0 is a good one. So that means that 0 will be replaced by all of the values, by the first value over here. 1 will be replaced by the first value over here. That's it. So we take in single quotes whatever is there, dot format whatever is over here. All right. So let's give it a try. Let's actually look at it in one of our coding questions. So I'm just about to open that. And yes. So the question is this: print the name of friends. Using the format method, print the following statement by substituting the name of friends. So what we have is Alex, Lakshmi and Jay went to the party. As we can see, these are the friends Alex, Lakshmi and Jay. You might have different friends with different names, and you want to write a statement that you can write it and you can keep changing it later on. So now remember, what was the formula? We had something in the quotes and then we had dot format some words. So in this case, we have the format of Alex, that's the first one. Then we have Lakshmi, which is the second word, and then we have J, which is the third word. Right? So that is the third one. And what are we substituting over here? Well, we have 0, 1 and 2 went to the party. So this is nothing but I want to substitute 0 with Alex, 1 with Lakshmi, 2 with J. That's what I want to do. So I wrote it like that. I wrote a dot format which will change all of these values. So if you remember, we click the run button and it starts running. And yes, our test case is passed. And then we click submit and it will check if it worked or not. And yeah, hooray, congratulations. But as you can see, the good part here is, let's say I change this to say Sachin, right? I just need to change it here. I don't need to even disturb this format at all. Let me run and see what the output is. So our output over here is Alex, Sachin and Jay, which doesn't match the Lakshmi output. We were supposed to do Lakshmi, but you can see I can just keep changing the words and our output will also keep changing, right? So it's a way of substituting the values very nicely. Let's look at another cool method that Python allows us to do. All right. So one other cool method that Python allows us to do is a method called fstrings. Okay, and this is even cooler than the format string. So let me just bring that up. The fstrings is something like this. Let's say you have a variable, and do not worry what a variable is. I'll explain that in just a bit. But let's say this Sachin is stored in name and this is stored in position. If you define it like this, that is, these are your single quotes, and you put an F in front of it, what it will do is wherever it finds these curly braces, it will substitute those values. So earlier we did 0 is a good one. We don't even need to do that. We can just do name is a good position, and whatever is the value of name, it will just substitute with Sachin, and whatever is the value of position, it will just substitute with player or whatever that value is over there. So let's try it out in our next question. Okay. So let me just get started. Yeah. So let me just try it out in the next question over here. Okay, so what we have is we have to print something of the capital, that is New Delhi is the capital of India, Madrid is the capital of Spain. So if you remember how we did it, we used the print statement. There will be an F and a string, and that's it. So what we're supposed to do is New Delhi, so let this be the city, all right, is the capital of some country, right? So this is the same statement we can use for both our statements. In the first statement, what we have is city is equal to New Delhi and country is equal to India, right? Now if we do this and if we print, what are we going to get? We're going to get New Delhi is the capital of India, New Delhi is the capital of India. So that's not the correct answer, but let's just run and check how it works. Okay, so we have some problem over here. Yes, we did not. This is the other thing. It will show you exactly where the problem is. So if you see over here, it's pointing out that there's a problem here. And what is the problem? We did not write the quotes again. So we have to have a quote at the end of it, right? So let's say I run it again. Okay, So you can see the difference over here. It printed New Delhi is the capital of India twice, whereas it should have been printing Madrid is the capital of Spain in the second one. Well, all we need to do is just update our values. So over here we go and we just update the values that we had. So that is Madrid is the capital of Spain, right? And we update those values and we run it and let's see how it works. All right. We have one problem, that is the spelling of capital is wrong. You can see it's showing that our capital spelling is wrong. And again, we just need to update it over here and over here. So our spelling was wrong. Let us now run it and check if it's running. And great, it's running. So these are just some simple print methods in Python. We have a lot of tutorials on these. I'm just going a little bit fast, but those of you who are finding it fast, do not worry. We have detailed tutorials on these. So for example, if you are coding on the Edyst platform, you will get videos. So I cover all of these in a very detailed video as well. So we have these videos over here which are on the Edyst platform and we do cover it in detail. So you can check the videos over here, or this is a tutorial, or if you prefer to read, you can just read the tutorial which is mentioned over here, which has all again like all of the things that I mentioned here. So you can always read the tutorial that is mentioned. Let me show you one more cool concept in Python, and I'll just go to the next module to show you that. Okay, and that concept is how do you store data. Now those of you who've done some programming before, you'll know that in other languages it takes a lot of time to figure out how Python or how that programming language even stores some data, but in Python it's really simple, because in Python there are roughly about 4 types of data types that you should know of, and let me just show that to you. So I'll show that to you through an example. Let's say you're going shopping, all right, and when you're going shopping you are making a list of what are you supposed to buy and you get this receipt. So the receipt you get is there's an item over here. This is the name of the item. This is the amount of quantities of that item that you're going to buy, and this is the price of that item, and this is the total price you paid for that item. So you bought 2 cartons of milk, the price is going to be 40. Let's say you bought 2 chocolates, it's going to be 100 rupees, or 10 eggs, 55 rupees, and so on. Now you and I can understand that a milk is a word. This is a whole number. You can't buy 2.5 milk ever. You're going to buy either 2 milk or 3 milk and so on. The price can be in decimals, like here eggs is in 5.5, so we can have in decimals, and the total could also be in decimals. Now you and I know that, but how do you make a computer understand something like that? Well, to make a computer understand that, we have data types, that is, each of these things will be stored in a different data type within Python. And so the name given to each of these data types is something different. For those of you who want to read more about this in detail, please log on to the Edyst platform, check the tutorial, check the reading material. There's a lot more detail about this, but in brief, there are just about 4 data types that you should know of in Python, and those 4 data types are this. It's a string. A string is nothing but like a text or a word, right? So anything that's a text or a word is stored in a string. Anything that's a decimal is called a float value. So any of the decimal is a float value. Anything that's a whole number is an integer. And we have another data type called Boolean, which returns either true or false. Now this, if you have not done programming, you will not appreciate the value. It's okay. We'll look at this in just a little bit of time about what a true or a false value means. In just a little bit of time, we'll have a look at that. But a string is the one that stores any words, a decimal is stored in a float, and an integer is stores any whole value. And let's have a look at some examples on where these come in handy. So I'm just going to open up 1 or 2 questions that are there in the Edyst platform, and then we'll wrap up after that. So this is a question: write a program to store the number 101 in a variable and print it. So the way we'll store any values in a variable is by using the equal to symbol. So it says store the number 101. Let's say I do number is equal to 101. That's how simple it is to store a value in Python. You don't have to say int something, or you don't have to give any extra syntax. It's like maths, it's like English. You just have to write number equal to 101, and it says you have to print the number. How do you think we are going to print the number? Just use the print function and print the number. That's all you have to do, right? So if they said print number, that's it. My test case is passed, and I'll just submit the question. and let's see what happens. Congrats, we passed the test cases. It's as simple as that. That's how simple Python makes it to store any number. Let's have a look at some other question within this thing. Let's store some um, uh, decimal value. Sorry, not boolean value, but decimal value. So what this question says is, write a program to store the value of pi till 5 decimal places in a variable and then print it. So I'm going to store the value of pi in 5 decimal places. And what is the value of y till 5 decimal places? It's this 3.14159. All right. So I don't need to calculate 22 by 7 or anything. I'll just do the value of pi, right? So let me do value is equal to 3.14159. Python will automatically assume that it's a float because this is a float value. So it will automatically assume it's a float value. You don't even need to tell it anything. And if I just want to print it, I can do print value. That's about it. So then we can just do run, and yes, it works, and we click submit and it should also work, right? So it's a pretty simple stuff. This is specifically for those of you who've not really done any programming before, or you're just thinking, you know, what is programming even for me? What should I do? Yes, it's pretty simple. With Python you can do that. So this is just some simple topics about variables, about printing. And again, those of you who've done some programming before will find this to be very, very simple and easy. But don't worry, we are going to continue this series tomorrow and day after. Tomorrow's specifically, we are going to talk more about how you can use conditionals, how you can use functions, how you can use operators, that is plus, minus, multiplication. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. And when it comes to loops and conditionals and lists, we'll be talking about that in a webinar after that. So we'll do a whole overview of Python. Today was just like a warm-up for everybody. What I want everyone to do is make sure you go to this course and, you know, at least do the free section and try it out for yourself. If you're someone who's already graduated or is in graduation, is looking for a job, then learning Python is one of the best investments you can make to actually start. So what I'll do right now is, if anybody has any questions or, you know, any doubts or anything, if you can again place it on the right hand side on the chat, and I'll be more than happy to help you over there. If not, you can also reach out to us on the following number. So this number is our number. Just give us a WhatsApp call. Sorry, just give us a WhatsApp message or give us a missed call on this number. We'll be more than happy to reach out to you and talk to you about that. Meanwhile, just go to this page, bit.ly/edyst_python, which is mentioned down below over here, bit.ly/edyst_python. Do check that page and make sure that you sign up and do some of the free versions and get your hands dirty into Python. That will be a great start. So yeah, I'll just wait for my team if there are any questions for us.
Right, so there are a lot of questions in the other channel which people are asking.
Yes.
So we'll start not necessarily in a specific order, but in the order of they being asked.
Right.
First questions first. I have some exposure to C, C++. Some people asking, some people have exposure to Java.
All right.
Do I need to leave all that and start Python now?
So a very, very good question from many students. I think especially freshers have this question, which is, you know, I already have exposure to C and C++. I know a little bit of Java. What should I do right now? Should I really learn Python, or, you know, should I continue with that? What is the use of getting to Python? Well, the first thing I want to bring to your attention is, if you want to get into any of the careers that I've mentioned before, that is, if you want to get into a career of web development, or if you want to get into a career of machine learning, or, you know, AI, data analysis, scripting, Python is the way to go. Getting into any of these careers is going to be really easy if you already know Python. So that's the first thing. But more importantly, what happens with many freshers is, you already know C and C++ and Java, but what you know is you know all of the theory aspects. Have you actually done the proper coding part? If you've done the coding parts, then picking up Python is also going to be really easy. If you've not done the coding part, no company is going to hire you based on your theory knowledge. They are going to give probably 10% weightage to your theory knowledge. They're going to give 90% weightage to your practical programming knowledge. So whichever language you do, make sure you do the practical aspects of it. And that's why in the Edyst platform, 90% of all our material is the actual coding challenges, which you can actually do and get the output from. Please make sure that whatever language you learn that, And if you might have some exposure to Java or C++ or C, but if you want to pursue any of these careers, or if you just want to get better at programming and you're not so confident in programming, Python is a really good language to start with.
Yeah. The second question, some of the people on the webinar have exposure to Python already. They're saying what you're teaching is very simple. When can we know more advanced concepts, if there are any?
Okay, so very good. We have some advanced users of Python over here. I'm really happy to hear that. And for you, I'm sure this would have seemed very, very simple, because all I was doing was clicking on print and printing some things. I can understand why you would think that. In the upcoming webinars, we're going to go a little deeper into if-else conditions, into multiplication, division, into loops and lists. If you already know that much, then you should really focus on more of the advanced concepts. But our focus right now is helping the beginners pick up some Python programming language. If you're an advanced user, you already know even OOP and data structures. If you know those kind of things, just wait for a bit. We are starting a batch on web development, specifically in Flask and Django, and that course will be really helpful and useful for you. So just wait a little bit for that. But if you are not at all confident in, let's say, loops and lists, just wait for this week. Within this week, we are going to cover some of those concepts on a live webinar.
So, how long will this course take to finish?
How long will this course take to finish? So we've officially put that this course takes about 12 weeks to finish. That's roughly about 3 months or so. But I have seen people complete a course like this within even 4 weeks. It completely depends on your willingness to do something and how quickly and how much time you want to give it. It doesn't mean that you have to have studied programming before. We had a student once from a mechanical background who did not know any programming before. He spent almost 6 hours a day programming, and within 2 months he had completed the entire course. So it depends on how much time you put in. If you put in about 1.5 hours every day and you're really slow in learning, even then within 3 months you should be able to complete it.
Couple of very interesting questions. If we do this course, what kind of salaries can we expect?
So if you do this course, what kind of salaries can you expect? That's a good question. So let me just open up that page about who all can hire you. So and I'll tell you about the salary packs of all of these companies. So let me just open up that page. So if you learn Python, you can be hired by any of these companies, especially if you learn the intro and advanced parts. You can be hired by any of these companies that I mentioned here. Generally speaking, these companies offer a package anywhere starting from 2.8 lakhs per annum all the way up to 4 lakhs per annum. So, if you are aiming for any of those companies coming from 2.8 up to 4 lakhs, some companies even go as high as 5 lakhs, but the average is something about 3 lakhs per annum. So if you learn the intro and advanced part, you can get there. If you learn even more, that is, if you go to frameworks, if you learn web development and so on, then you can earn an even higher package. But with Python, at least a 3 lakh package on average is what you can get.
We hear words like advanced Python, core Python. What is the difference, and what all is covered here?
So what is the difference between advanced Python and core Python? See, core Python is about, can you use Python to do some basic printing? Can you do basic maths in Python? So for example, can you do all of these math expressions? Can you do plus, minus, subtraction? Can you use strings? That is, given a word, can you do something with it? Can you use some basic functions? Can you do some if-else statements? Can you do loops? This is what core Python is about. At the end of core Python, you should know the algorithms that are generally there in most curriculum, like bubble sort, selection sort, insertion sort. If you don't know what these things mean, don't worry. We have tutorials that will explain exactly what these are. But basically, core Python is more about improving your programming and not your language. It's more about giving you the logic for programming and not so much about the language as such. The advanced Python is more about the core features of Python, how you can use Python to do object-oriented programming, how you can use the core Python data structures like tuples, dictionaries. That is what is about advanced Python. So that is more about the inbuilt things in Python is what we get into in advanced Python.
A couple of very good questions. We are still in engineering. Some are in second, some are in third, some are in fourth. When is the right time to start preparing?
So we are still in engineering. When is the right time to start preparing? The right time to start preparing is actually in the second year and first year. Do not wait till your fourth year. Trust me, we do a lot of webinars and sessions with students who are in their final year, and they all are regretting that they have not learned programming before. If you learn your programming in second year, then in third and fourth year you can start preparing for advanced companies. You can either prepare for frameworks or advanced companies. The reason why you'll probably settle at a 3 lakh job is because you started studying in your fourth year. If you studied in your second year and third year, if you started early, you can aim for product based companies, which basically just means you can aim for higher packages. So a second year and even a first year is a really good time to start. Just to give you an example, I started coding not even in my first year. I started coding in 11th and 12th standard, and that has helped me a lot in understanding programming. Many of my friends started coding in the first year. By the time they came to third year, they already knew C++, Java, and Python by the time they were in the third year. So in their third and fourth year, they could focus on higher level things. That is what your aim should be. Your aim should not be to just get into a company. Your aim should be to, learn properly and try to get into advanced companies. But having said that, if you are a fourth year student or somebody who's graduated, don't think that it's over, it's beyond you. Even learning now, you can still get a job in any one of these companies.
Uh, can you please explain what kind of projects will we do, and is that project helpful for our college submission as well as to show it to a company?
So what kind of projects are we going to do, and is that helpful to a company or even in our college? So first, I'll answer the second part first. Absolutely, the kind of projects we have designed are all modern projects. They are not the projects that you will get outside where you have to design a library or you have to design an app. It's not like that. We have taken up projects that are very logical in nature so that you can explain properly. So it will be very useful to have these projects and show to your company that's going to hire you, or show to your faculty, or just put on your resume. So even when you do core Python or the introductory Python, we are going to do a project where you can organize all of the files in your desktop. So let's say if your desktop is as dirty as my desktop, you'll have many files. How do you organize all of those files into different folders that make sense? So we'll do a simple project like that, which not only will you help you in your resume and with your companies, you can use it in everyday life also. The cooler project which we're going to do is in the advanced section, where we're actually going to use some public APIs, which is something very simply put is you have services like Spotify, you have a service like Zomato. We will actually use these services to our advantage. For example, we will ping Zomato or query Zomato, get the list of all the restaurants around us, and we will try to see which serves the best biryani or which serves the best noodles, that kind of thing. It'll be really fun to code. It will be really cool to mention on your resume, and it will be amazing for your job prospects, as well as you will have fun. And the best part, this code will be uploaded online. There is a website called GitHub where we'll help you upload this code. You can actually show the entire code and working of that project to your faculty and even to anybody who's going to hire you. This is the new way people are hiring. They're asked to see your entire project code, and once they see that code, they can actually start asking questions. So we'll show you how you can do that.
Two, three questions on the other channel. People are asking about how do I learn being a remote student who's not in Hyderabad?
So, how do I learn being a student who's not in one of the main cities? Like I'm not in Hyderabad, and how do I end up learning on the platform? So, let me tell you that for you, the best opportunity is to learn online. And let me just give you an example. Let me load the Edyst.com where we have the other courses going on right now, and I'll just open that up. Let me sign up and just open that up, and I'll show you how many people are online right now studying by themselves, reaching out to me. The best part about the online platform that we have made is you can study at any time, be it at 9 in the evening, 7 in the morning, whenever you want to do. So like right now there are about 27 people online studying Python just like you, right? At any given time, if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me, and I am there to help you in any doubt that you might have. Or you can reach out to Ravi, who is an Edyst mentor. So you can just need to search. If I search for Ravi over here, second, yeah. So Ravi, Edyst mentor, hi, right? So I can actually search for him and say hi. So that's him. And if I have any doubt, he will help me out over here. Or if I have any doubt, I can also See, he's online, he can answer any doubt, and I can also go to the forum and ask any questions that I might have. So I can ask a question on, hey, I did the print integer, print the name of friends. I did not get the output, did not get output. So we basically build all these features to help you ask doubts even if you're in a remote city. In fact, most of the answers that we give to doubts are within about 10-15 minutes, which is faster than most offline classrooms do. So if you are outside the city, learning online is the best way to learn. Even in the city, you can chat with your friends who are studying, you can ask questions on the forums and get answers as well.
Some of the people are saying we are based in Hyderabad and we would like to come and learn in person.
So some of you are already based in Hyderabad and you would like to come in person and learn. You are absolutely open to come and learn at our office. We do give some seats available to students who are really serious about learning, and we do a more dedicated guidance for them. For more information on that, you can just reach out to us on the given number below. You can WhatsApp us or call us, and we'd be happy to share the location of our office. You can just Google it, but we'll share the location of our office. You can come to our office and start coding as well. We already have a lot of students who are sitting in our office and coding. So if you want to join them and get a corporate environment about how actually it is to sit in a corporate environment and code, do come to our office, and we'll be more than happy to do a personal guidance of you.
So the same question repeated again, somebody else. I am in the middle of another course which is Java. Do you advise us to complete that or move to a new course?
So if you're already part of an Edyst course of Java, I urge you to actually complete that one because we have some interesting things happening over there. And trust me, if you're already doing an Edyst Java course, then learning the Edyst Python course will not be very difficult for you. You'll pretty much pick it up because Edyst has this philosophy that we teach you the logic mainly so that you can pick up any language. So if you're on the Edyst Java course, complete it, then talk to us. We'll do a guidance of you about your career opportunities. If you want to get into, let's say, machine learning, web development, more than happy to help you understand how you can pick up Python.
I think the last one or two questions. 2018 and 19 batch people, what kind of job opportunities can we expect if we do this course?
So if I'm a 2018, 2019 graduate, what is the kind of opportunities that I can expect from doing this course? So for anybody who's sitting for campus placements, that is 2019, 2020 and below, anybody there, this course will definitely help you a lot because all of your campus rounds will get cleared through a course like this. Whereas it comes to anybody who's already passed out of college, so like 2018, 2019 or anyone before, there are two options you have. Number one, many companies are still doing a lot of off-campus rounds. For example, TCS announced an off-campus round that they are going to do on the 1st of September, and there is still chance to register for that. So please make sure you go and register for that. View some of our previous webinars to understand how to register for that. So TCS and many of these other companies will keep doing off-campus rounds. So make sure you, if you learn this programming language, you will be able to clear any of those off-campus rounds. Let's say you don't clear those, there are other companies that will start considering you for other roles like a web developer role, not like a fresher role, but more of a web developer role, of a machine learning role. For that also, you need to have a solid understanding of a programming language, and for that Python is really useful for you. So if you do this course, you will be able to take up more advanced courses which will help you get a job.
The last question, they're saying that you are showing some practice of some of the questions. If we want to practice before we decide to take the course, where should we practice?
So some of the students want to practice on the platform and they want to see where exactly that they can practice on. So as I said, what you need to do is go to bit.ly/edyst_python, which is over here. That's the below. The link is mentioned below, bit.ly/edyst_python. The moment you go there, you will come across this page. And on this page, what you get is this button called apply now. So this is the entire page. Please read up more about whatever is mentioned on this page. It has give you a lot of information. If you're still not sure, you can always WhatsApp us. Once you click apply now, it will ask you to log in and give your details, and then this will open up. This first module is completely free for you to do. Go inside, look at all of the topics that are there and try to do some of them. You will get some idea of how this code actually works, how this course actually works.
I think the very, very last question. If we have more questions, queries, whom
So
do we
if you
reach out
have
to?
any more questions and queries, you can reach out to us at team@edis.com. That's the email given below. And as most of you prefer, most students prefer to just WhatsApp us. So the WhatsApp number is given here. Just WhatsApp us on that number, or even call us or give us a missed call, and we're more than happy to help. And if you have signed up on the Edis platform, I am available online. You can reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to interact with you also. So I am wishing everybody a great start with Python. It's a great language to learn. It's an easy language to learn where you focus a lot more on the logic and not so much on the syntax. If you have ever been afraid of programming, don't be afraid. Give this one a try. Trust me, the way we have put it and the way Python is, you are going to get a really good experience in learning programming. Do not be afraid of programming. That you can form a great career in programming. So sign up on the Edis platform. Reach out to me if you have any doubts. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because we will be doing many more Python series, and to get the notifications for those you need to be subscribed to this channel. And the last request is, please share this with your friends who you know who have probably already graduated and are looking for a job. Share this with them. They will start, this is a great avenue for them to learn a programming language that can actually help them get a job. So all the best everybody. Thank you so much for being online, and I look forward to interacting with all of you soon. All the best everyone, and see you online on Edis platform.